XTool sent me this wild machine that claims it can print my art on pretty much anything. Clothes, jackets, hats, and maybe some things that absolutely shouldn't have art on it. But before I become a full-blown one-man apparel company, let's find out what this thing can actually handle. I grabbed a bunch of random thrift store clothes, some weird stuff from around my studio, more than a little bit of my own clothes. I grabbed a few things that may be dangerous to transfer onto, but I'm doing it for you, and because it'll be fun. So this could go great, or it could explode spectacularly. I guess we just have to find out. I've been interested in DTF printers for a while now. Being able to make custom one-off things, or just fully create my own merch by myself, has always sounded very enticing. But I sort of gave up on those dreams when I did a little bit of research and discovered how messy and how complicated DTF print setups can be. But XTool's new apparel printer claims to be easy to set up and use. So if it's not gonna be complicated or messy, I guess that's my job to make it complicated and messy by trying to print it on some stuff that maybe it shouldn't be printed on. Or I mean, I could just make some stuff. I mean, why do I have to make it hard? Can't we just make some nice stuff and sell it? Isn't that how you do a business? Are we even running a business here? When all this stuff arrived on a literal pallet, I gotta say I was a little stressed out. I assumed based on the sheer volume of things that it was gonna be a nightmare to set up. But I gotta say, it was pretty straightforward. I think the hardest part was getting all of that stuff down to my studio, especially that shaker oven. That thing is a pretty heavy unit. Even though there were many different elements to set up on their own, like the DTF printer itself, the oven, the air purifier, because it's designed to work as a system, the setup was seamless. It all just kind of went together easily. And this is saying a lot because I am not good at reading directions. My ADHD gives me a small window early in the day where I can follow along with boring instructions. And this was not in that window. And I got it done. I think the actual setup took less time than just breaking down all of the boxes and packaging that I had to deal with. That was a chore. There was only one real issue that I dealt with in the setup. It was a pretty annoying one though. So after you get it all set up, it tells you to follow these on-screen instructions, and there's like a screen on the apparel printer, and it takes you through a step-by-step to like calibrate the machine and get it all running. It tells you to just do this. Don't do anything with your computer or don't connect it or anything like that. So I'm going through this setup and it kept giving me an error that there was some heating exception, which sounded kind of bad. I'm like, well, am I gonna burn down my office? I reached out to XTool and they got back to me right away. They were super helpful and asked me to send some logs from the app. And I explained that I didn't install the app yet because it told me to just do the on-screen stuff. So I downloaded the app and it was like, there's a firmware update. I installed the firmware update and magically all the issues were gone. So you got the instructions are not good there. XTool sent me their whole apparel printing setup. The printer that actually makes the transfers, the shaker oven that applies the powder or whatever magic is used to make it adhere to the different objects or materials. And they even sent me an air purifier so I don't have to vent it out the window. Basically enough equipment to accidentally start my own clothing brand. But before that happens, I really want to push this thing to see what it can't do. Let's go try not to break this thing. But I guess if we break it, it's for science.
XTool Studio is actually really easy to use. You just go up to the top to New Project, and then it'll open up a blank canvas. Then you can come up to the top and choose your device. I will choose the apparel printer, and it'll automatically update my canvas to reflect that. I had it set up for my S1 laser cutter before that. And then I'm just going to come over to this little plus on the left to import, and then I will find the art I want to print. Once it's in here, you could customize it to be whatever size you want. One cool thing, if you're not really sure how big you want it to be, you can use this mock-up thing where you just click on this and then it'll automatically pull up a shirt and you can change the color of the shirt and what size the shirt is. We could like put it to a small, and now we can see what it would look like on a small shirt. Now I'm gonna put it to an XL because that's what I'm gonna print on. And then we can just move the art around, figure out the sizing we want. And I think that looks pretty good. So then we can just hit print current design and it'll print it based on the sizing from this mockup. So that's pretty rad.
I didn't realize how big of graphics you can do. One thing that we're gonna be testing is how to handle a print that's bigger than the heat press I have. Look at how this came out. The prints are just so good. And then I just did a lot. I did a bunch of sheets with just tons of like little things that I thought I could transfer onto random things. I got a bunch of hats. I got some other random stuff. I bought some blank patches. Most of these went perfectly, no issues. There was a couple little things, like this one got messed up, and I thought I would show what happened. You can see on the back, it's all like smudged there. There's the little plates on the side that you use to align the film coming in, and I think I had it pushed in too far, and it got caught, and then it like buckled a little bit, and then it got all messed up. But it still kept going, and like I could have canceled it, but I kept it going to print out these bottom ones because I was going to use those anyway, and it had already done all this, so figured why not just let it go. And then I just ran the maintenance button and it cleaned itself up, and it was all good. All right, I thought we would start with something easy, which should be a shirt. I got this purple t-shirt right here, and I'm gonna put on this praying mantis graphic right on the front. I've also seen some people say they do an initial press and others don't do an initial press, so I don't know. We'll try it both ways. I'm not gonna do an initial press on this one, but I'll maybe on the next one. Eyeball it in terms of centering it using the collar. This little wireless remote, you set the temperature and the time, and then you kind of just hit go.
Hey, this is Editor Chris. I've been trying to edit this video and I'm realizing that it's kind of difficult for a couple reasons. One, I was waiting for the things to cool down before I peeled them off so that they could properly set. But I was so excited that I just kept making stuff while waiting for the other thing. So it's hard to edit that because there's not like the thing and then the payoff. I have just tons of footage of me making so many things. Guys, I made so much stuff. I couldn't stop. I had so much fun. I printed on everything. I think we're gonna do like a little montage of some of the different stuff that I did. And then after this stuff, I get a little crazy and start printing on some stuff that I probably shouldn't have, or we're gonna do a will it print section and we'll see which things actually printed. So that's coming up. I break some stuff in that section, just so you know. Oh, I also bought a little hat press off of Amazon because I wanted to do some hats and realized that it wasn't really going to work with the smart press. If you're wondering what that new contraption is, it's a hat press.
Put this on here and then you pull this lever to like stretch it. Okay. Oh man, this is gonna look sweet if it actually works. So we put this on here, we do this. We're timing. I don't know why I'm using a timer because I'm making it up. So one thing I wanted to try out was covering up something else and see how well it does. All right, this next section is called Will It Transfer? And this is where I test out some random materials and see what works and what doesn't work. You can play along when you watch and then you decide if it's gonna work or not. Play the theme music.
Will it transfer?
I was pretty surprised how well the beanie worked. It seemed like that material with all the different like grooves and the thread and all that stuff would make it hard to adhere to, but it's a pretty solid bond. Really impressed that it was able to stick to this so well. This velvety felt stuff that I got from Amazon looks so cool with the transfer on it. I think it's just the mix of the fuzzy material. I guess this shouldn't be a surprise because they're sort of made for this kind of thing, but the patches worked great. Yep, turns out you can transfer onto bread, so I know a lot of you were probably wondering about that. This little nylon bag that came with my headphones took the transfer very well. Who would have thought heat and pressure on a glass mirror is not a good thing? Transferring onto the paper works surprisingly well and looks pretty cool. After I did a second press to just smooth out the print, it almost had like a screen print vibe. So although the transfer worked on the iPad, I wouldn't recommend this. It got really hot and it was sketchy. I think this was probably a bad idea. If you want something on your iPad, just use a sticker. Don't be an idiot like me. It still works though, so I guess there's that. The vinyl sheet, it worked, but it got melty. Maybe I could have used a lower temperature. I don't know. Further investigation needs to be done, because I guess it would be a cool way to make stickers. This adhesive micro suede worked really well. I think it looks so cool because of the contrast between the different materials. The iPad case worked pretty well, though I lost a little piece of one of the letters. I think maybe I was just rushing and maybe could have used a little bit more heat or pressure. Canvas shoes worked well, looking pretty neat. This coat took the transfer so well. The only issue I had was with the big graphic on the back. I guess the zipper probably should have just unzipped the coat before I did that, but you live and you learn. Although the transfer worked on the vinyl, I guess I should have known that heating vinyl would make it melt and warp. I think for me, the coolest thing is that I can make custom one-off things without having to order 100 of them, whether it's a single jacket or adding branding to something that I already sell. It just opens up new possibilities. You know what I'm saying? Also, I'm gonna put some of these one-off tests in my shop because a lot of this stuff doesn't fit me. And maybe this is an opportunity to get a custom one-of-a-kind thing. You ever think about that? I'll list a bunch of the stuff in there, link it below. If it may be still available, maybe it's all gone already. Or maybe nobody wanted it. You could, I have some sale info for anyone who might be interested in the XTool Apparel Printer. If you're watching this around the time I'm posting it, they're having a big Black Friday sale that goes through December 5th. And on top of that, I have a custom discount code, FILMCHRIS. I'll put it on the screen. Also, if you purchase any Apparel Printer bundle, you get a free roll of DTF film. That's pretty cool. Also, my code can be stacked with any ongoing XTool promotions, even the major sales. You can find that link below, including my affiliate link. So if you end up purchasing anything from XTool, you help support the channel. Huge thanks to XTool for sending this setup. And I'll definitely be using it some more in some upcoming videos and trying it out in some new ways. So stay tuned.
Let me know in the comments what you'd like to see me try to transfer onto, or what I should make with this stuff. Okay? Good talk. Peep my fit. Peep my fit. What do you think?